Raymond Camina,
Present.
Elizabeth Flores,
Present.
Judith Gutierrez,
Present.
Richard Laurel, Bethany Luna, Janie Martinez, Alex Villarreal,
Present.
Marisa Ramirez, present, and Magali Rodriguez. We have requesting excused absences for today's meeting is Bethany Luna. She is out of town on work travel. A motion to excuse Ms. Bethany.
Second.
Motion
Margaret
carried.
had mentioned that she was going to be in the
At the
same
same
conference last meeting.
Yes.
So we will excuse both of them?
Both Bethany
Yes.
and Magali Rodriguez. Motion carried for excused members. Okay, moving on to the approval of the minutes for the January 9th, 2020 meeting, which is on page
2.
2.
I read the minutes and and I'm gonna move that we approve them and submit it, but unless there are any.
I just wanted to ask if, do we need to specify or expand on what Mr. Miller said to the group?
Is there anything specific that you want us to expand on?
No, it was, I mean, all we did was say introduction. And he talked, didn't he?
Yeah, he
It's
did
a
a
long
quite
I mean, I thought
extensive
maybe I
presentation.
was at the wrong meeting. I don't know, I'm just asking. I mean, it doesn't have to be comprehensive, just a broad brush of
Of what
he
said?
presented his, what's going on, the update, or gave an update on airport activity maybe, on flight schedules or something. Not like not giving the details, but on what he discussed. I don't know.
The guideline that I've always, or that I was taught, was to definitely record questions and answers, recommendations and suggestions. So as far as discussion, I usually don't summarize what was discussed,
No,
but
no.
any questions,
I don't mean
answers.
discussion, I just, I get what you're saying. I just like introduction of Laredo City Airport Director Jeffrey Miller, who gave the committee an update on airport
Upcoming
activities.
projects.
Okay.
I mean, it just sounded like he was just here.
Okay.
Is that
It's just
all right?
a little brief,
Well,
add a little
that-
brief, maybe another sentence
Yeah.
to that.
Yeah,
Because I
just,
think that the ensuing paragraphs, I mean, he did talk about airline service and he did talk about the population and all that and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
And he also mentioned
Any
bringing the
questions?
pilot training program to the rate, which I think it's already
Also,
been
any
discussed,
questions that
right?
were asked at that
Yeah.
time?
So we'll
are
include
on
that-
here.
Just
just gave an update,
Yes.
just
or brief the committee.
so that everything else makes sense.
Okay. Yeah, no, we'll do it.
With that,
But they're great meeting minutes, great. I second the motion.
Move as amended.
as amended, yes.
Okay.
Move as amended,
Mhm.
and motion is carried. Okay. Moving on to the public citizen comments, do we have anything to bring to today's meeting? On public comment,
We
anything?
don't have any public.
I did give a comment from citizens that I heard at the mayor's
State of the
city thing. A lot of people told me that it was very well organized, that it was very well put together, that it was a very professional, and of course I said it was CVP. They did it all. CVP did it all.
And thank you very much.
I would love to take credit for everything.
I said there were several departments, but I know that.
We got him.
Yeah. We were heavily involved in,
Heavily involved, is it good?
we were, yes, and together with PIO and PAC and the arena, those were the four, I would say, main
Did the
departments.
arena charges?
Yes, but it's, well, not, it goes into, it's part of the contract.
rent?
Yeah. So it's part, I don't remember the name of how they call it, but it's part of the fund.
I think it's part of
Yeah.
that contract or whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe the
It's a
negotiation
city event,
includes
so.
that the
Oh,
city
yeah.
may use it for,
Yeah.
you know, several
Yeah.
events.
Yeah, I think so.
And so it's, it was the vision of city management and it was just a great undertaking. It was a lot of work, but it definitely, we heard a lot of positive comments. We were behind the scenes, so we didn't know exactly how it looked from the front, but we heard a lot of good comments of what was done and definitely it was a really good team. And
The other question was asked was, how much did this freaking thing cost me? That was the exact comment. And I said, I don't think it cost you in particularly, unless you went shopping, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what funds were used because I really wasn't sure.
from CVB, it really wasn't, no, it wasn't, I think we bought a couple of things like stage decor, but everything else was paid by City Hall.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it really CVB, the expenses that we incurred were,
And it was probably promotional money.
Yeah.
Yes.
yeah, they have their accounts and we assist, and Monica assists to a lot
Because
with
that's a
entering
good way to
purchase
promote.
requisitions and everything, but it's all going to accounts here at City Hall. Really,
You know, and if you think about it, I mean, it's for the public, for the citizens, you know, to be able to get
I
informed.
know, see, no flair.
And if you don't go, that's your fault, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
I mean, it's on you, it's not, you know,
It's information.
they're trying, you know, to be as informative as they can and give you a state of the city, you know, what happened this last year, what you can look forward to. You know, that is the obligation of the city, and if you don't take, and if they don't do it, they're gonna say, what are they hiding? You know
Yeah.
what it is.
It was
And-
very nice.
the idea of management was to do it in a way where people would get more engaged, yes, because
See where the money's been going, to the vehicles that we
the vehicles
purchased.
that were in the back, everything, and
Everybody wants to know, okay, how are you spending my money?
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know, where are you getting the money to pay, A, you know, the salaries,
Mhm.
B, you know, the vehicles, you know, all
the
of it.
vehicles,
And, you know,
that.
all the operation, you know, where does it go to? I mean, that's basically what people wanna know. How are you using your tax
It was
dollars?
great.
And also making it more, to where it was friendlier for everybody, even for mayor, not talking for the 45 minutes, but it was like visuals and then him and then the interview, and so it was a little bit more, there was a little bit more
It didn't
movement.
seem
So,
long at all.
exactly,
Yeah.
so it would,
When
That-
you
that
hear-
was the
when you
idea.
get- You know, that's, when you hear other voices,
Mhm.
I mean, when you hear one voice and it's just going on and on, you say, you know.
Yeah.
and here was
For
like
as much,
keeping
for
your,
as much as you wanna make it interesting, you know, it gets to a point. So, but if you bring other voices, other people, you
Other
know, and you
components.
break it with a video or comments, you know, but
No, estuvo muy bonito. You all should be very,
Thank you.
thank you, appreciate it, and we'll share with the rest of
and I did hear that from a lot of people that said it was very well done. Very
But how
well
many,
done.
how many
Very
people attended?
It was close to 200.
Yeah.
See, it should have been 2,000.
Oh, I agree.
I mean, really, I mean, it's,
And
I'm
close
not,
to 200 includes staff.
Yeah.
Like
that's
directors.
100. No, it's true, I mean, that's a, you know, because people are out there, they're asking questions, whatever. You know, whenever you have an opportunity and you really do want to find out, you know, what is going on,
Yeah.
you should
I know, I
attend.
get super defensive. People say, well, they just invited me so they could have people. I said, no, they invited you so you could invite other people that would have had an interest in it.
And it was open to the public, I mean, it was in the
Exactly.
paper, they
Yes.
promoted it. It's not like, okay, we're gonna have a little close meeting just for
Right.
certain people that were invited.
And we did
Just
see,
not the way it is.
there was a few people from the public.
Yeah.
We did.
Oh,
Families that have their kids, they were going into, taking
No,
pictures
no, no,
of the
from the
trucks.
public,
and-
I mean, people that were
Yeah,
not, they're
they're
not
not-
involved, regularly involved, like they're not part of a committee.
That's what
or
I
they're
mean,
not
that
part
it-
of an
that's good to
organization.
see.
There were people,
Yeah.
yes.
From
I
the
didn't
general
like the
public.
fact that KGN has said, Oh, we didn't see too many people from the public.
There was no need to say that.
But that's their opinion, you see, and they should not insert things like that.
Exactly.
Because they make it seem, oh, nobody attended, nobody was interested.
Yeah, and Jerry asked the reporter, Mr., what's his name?
Oh, no.
Elizondo,
Yeah,
that's a-
no, Maya is the.
And which I
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and see,
Rudy and Maya, or Rudy and.
Rudy, yeah, Rodolfo, yeah,
Rodolfo, yeah.
said,
I
well, was
can't
there a lot of
recognize it.
people from the, well, we saw our department heads and staff and, you know, government officials and, no, there were not too many people.
The majority of the people attending were city staff,
Yeah.
But it
I
is
was gonna
something.
say,
So that's our
what do
fault,
you
and I
know? I was gonna tell him, what do you know?
But Betty, really, at the end of the day, it's up to the citizen.
Yeah.
Mr. and
You all
Mrs.
did it.
Citizen, you all go.
Everything was there, it was for them to do it or not, it's just like voting.
Well, look at me to voting.
And hopefully this
Yeah, it's just
will
like
get
voting.
more people interested.
Mhm.
I think that's the objective. That people see that if they don't go because like, I'm gonna just listen to something, and that they know that the city's trying
I
to
know, I wish you
engage
could say you
everybody.
don't have to pay your city taxes this year if you go, and we'll have a raffle.
No,
Vegas, everybody out
But no businesses.
And on April Fool's Day,
No businesses.
10% off your taxes.
Something, honey.
But how about April 1st, there was no April
I
Fool's Day.
know. It would be,
You would have a riot.
it would be illegal, but God, I wish you could do it.
Well, I don't think people should be bribed to
No,
go. I mean,
but
that's
they
my
have-
opinion. It's just like they're giving
They're being
kids,
raced.
you know, they'll give them a points, you know, for attending this.
Exactly,
What's
and a
that
car.
about? I mean,
And they give them a car. They
Yeah.
give them a raffle to apply.
At the end of the year,
At the
you
end of
get-
the
Yeah.
For the
year.
correct attendance.
If you
There's-
don't miss any, right? If you don't
Yeah.
miss
If you
any
have
classes.
they're perfect attendance, all of those, and the group is getting larger and larger.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's
because
working, but, you know,
free car.
Okay.
we've already expressed our
That's okay. I wanted to thank you for the comments. I think that was good information that we all needed to hear.
Yeah.
It's
People
important
were
for the community.
really appreciative,
Yeah.
the ones that I talked to.
So moving on to reviewing our year-to-date financial statements, which is on page 4. Does anybody have any questions or
there is a
comments?
budget
Revision?
freeze in general in the city, CVB with general funds. CVB we're not completely exempt, but what management has dictated is for us to be just careful with our expenses, be vigilant of our expenses. Because what the numbers that we see are the numbers from the good months, like December, November, December. So those are the ones that you're gonna see in our report. So for us, everything is going really well, but just being vigilant that if things start slowing down, we need to be cautious. And so that's the only thing that management is advising, especially CVB. The rest of the departments are on, certain lines are in budget freeze.
I wanted to ask, you know, because they said it was because of the oil and gas revenues.
No, it's because of the bridge revenues.
Oh,
Yeah.
but
So-
they said they don't receive oil and, it's the
No.
county that receives.
No, it's a bridge revenue. So the bridge has seen a slowdown in the last 3 months. And so management, in an effort to be cautious and has
If you had to put a percentage, what percentage of
Is
bridge
it-
revenues have been affected?
I don't have,
5%,
I can
10%.
tell you the weeks of like Christmas, which we measured with them, it was around 4% that was down, which was a paisano season. I know that management gets the reports on a daily basis and they're measuring on a daily basis. The report that I was privy to it was the one for paisano season, and that was like around 4%.
Is that the pedestrian, is that the car, the
It's
vehicle?
pedestrian and non-commercial.
Non-commercial.
But the commercial is still,
The commercial is still good, it's the pedestrian and non-commercial that we're seeing.
And the commercial had slowed down a bit, I know from a company, and I'm sorry Rick's not here. Only because they were waiting for the new
The
NAFTA.
USMCA.
Right, they were just kind of worried about it, right?
Do you think the drop might be because of the construction or
We're
on that side? Because
not sure
That's
if
true.
also the
some
situations that
suppliers
have
have
been
waited up to 4
happening
hours to cross.
in Nuevo Laredo have also anything to do with it. We saw in November that the weekend, the kickoff for us of the shopping season was really good. We saw a peak in the hotel occupancy. And we saw the trend with the paisanos was, we saw a good number for us, but they were coming in in groups. So we saw a larger number in the caravan, and we saw a similar number to other years in the regular paisano traffic. So we saw the same amount of people at the tent that we saw last year, which is around 3,000 people. But the caravan was much larger. So the caravan from 800, they went to 1,200 people, because when we see the trend is people trying to travel together.
To be safe.
Yes.
so all of the people that went in those 1,200 vehicles, all of them come back. Do you measure that?
95% come back. We don't measure the coming back because they trickle in.
And they come separately.
Yeah.
Most of
Waves,
them. We did have, there was a group this year that came together, which was the lead of the group, the people that organized it. There was a larger group this year that came together, again, trying to travel in groups. And
There's safety in numbers.
Exactly. And so they called me and they just let me know that they had come back and that they were okay, that everybody was fine. So just as a courtesy, they gave me a call and let me know.
That's nice. But I think the regular traffic, because of the paisano congestion, decided
Not
to limit their crossings.
Mhm.
Because I know a lot of my friends who have housemates that, go and come, they said they're coming just on certain days, or they're coming on whatever. And my friend said that her lady crossed at 4:30 in the morning, or she went to the bridge at 4:30 in the morning and crossed at 8.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I saw something similar. So we, even the media called me and said, have you seen any effect from the violence spurts that have been happening in Nuevo Laredo? And any correlation with that and your occupancy or anything else? And the answer is, we haven't seen it. But that's not to say that it might happen. So one of the things that we're keeping an eye on is our occupancy and the sales tax. And the sales tax keeps coming on a good number. Of course, and that's something that they mentioned during our meeting, our council meeting, is the sales tax comes 2 months later. And so what we're seeing right now are numbers from 2 months ago. And it's something similar with the hotel occupancy tax. So right now what we're doing is we're not incurring any expenses that were not budgeted. We're trying to be cautious, not because we're in a situation where there's an issue already, we're seeing an issue. That's not the situation. It's just we're trying to be cautious because of the bridge being down on revenues. So
When do you think the construction will be over?
they haven't given us a date. I inquired.
It's like 4 or 5 years, right? The
Well,
whole total remodeling?
but they have phases.
Phases, yeah.
Some phases might affect a little
Right.
bit more. And so I inquired. They don't know exactly. They were gonna inquire too.
But you know what they're doing is opening the sentry lanes, for regular vehicular traffic at peak times, I think,
Yeah.
for 2 hours, in the morning for 2 hours.
Later.
Yes.
Later,
Yeah.
which makes sense, which
Yeah.
is very smart move though.
Yeah.
But.
And they opened the commuter lanes, which, as a visitor, makes it a little bit more difficult because the commuters are flying in, but the regular visitor is taking a little bit longer because there's like, we saw that.
There's only-
who are
I went across
Did they-
recently and there's only like 3
for visitors and like 8 for commuters.
And the rest
I think
are for
yeah.
locals.
I think,
And they
I
never
think-
have enough staff.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
So we're just being cautious, we're keeping an eye on everything. So far, we haven't seen any issues, our occupancy has come, of
Well,
course, we have,
your December, numbers are good.
Yeah.
126%.
so we saw our December number for occupancy was good too, so we're just keeping an eye, we're being cautious.
But you know, there's still a lot of Mexicans here because I go to the stores just to talk to people. I walk around and I sort of back, oh, sorry.
Where are you from?
Yes.
She takes her own bag.
We saw a lot of
I talked
traffic
to a lot of
on
people
February.
and there are a lot of people here. There were people at Target, at H-E-B, and at Walmart yesterday.
I mean, everybody was complaining the day of city council because of traffic, and everybody was like, why is there so much traffic? And Yvette from Bridge said, let them go. It's Mexican visitors and they're going back to Mexico and they're paying their fees at the bridge, so let the traffic
Don't
come.
complain.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, it's either feast or famine. I mean, you can't have it both ways, you know, so,
Yeah.
you know, you have to be patient in times, you
Yeah.
know, when that happens.
So we're just keeping, just wanted to let you know, we're keeping an eye based on directive from.
And they're taking advantage of the sales.
Mhm. Yeah.
January was a big month for
Uh-huh.
sales.
It still
Yeah.
is. It's still going on.
So if the sales tax trend continues, I mean, that's a good,
Well, you're looking, or should have a good February. I mean, there's a lot of.
Lot of
festivities.
activities.
And George Washington coming up,
That's right.
yeah, and occupancy in February is always good because of that.
and then March spring break, and
We have,
And then you have all those
We have a lot of
tournaments, right?
So,
Yeah, a lot of
yeah.
tournaments.
Saturday mornings, I go to a meeting at the Homewood Suites, the one behind the Embassy Suites.
Mhm.
You cannot find parking
Mhm.
there
Yeah,
at all.
especially during the weekends, yeah.
It's always full, always. So I think
A lot of
that's
people
good.
stay there, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
they like that area a lot because.
Just
And
walk
then there
across
was
the-
a
the mall.
huge group of Army people.
And that's something that we
They've been
foresee
staying there almost
too.
2 years.
It's a lot of government.
They have
I met a lot of them, they've been there for 2 years.
National Guard.
Have good
They've been staying in
Yes.
several properties within the
Yeah.
city.
with highlights.
Did you know that big building that they're remodeling on Jackman Road? What, somebody said it was gonna be for government offices, all like
Yes.
the FBI,
Is that where,
Where the
Grand Station?
Grand Central
Grand
Station
Station.
used to be, yeah.
But
They
they
sold
have
it to
made
the
it
federal
so
government.
big, I mean, it's huge.
it is?
Yeah, they sold it to the federal government, so there'll be
Yes, and it's,
police stations there.
no, like
Jackman.
corner.
Well,
Jackman.
it's-
Next to.
Next to the
Next to the
funeral
funeral
home.
home. Next to the
Jackson.
funeral home.
Yeah,
Next to
the
Joe
Jackson funeral.
It looks really nice. I thought it was
But
gonna be another club or bar or something.
No.
Cristobal
have been all kinds of
Rodriguez Chitin.
Chitin.
The other Cristobal. He sold it, I think it was for $5.2 million. Wow.
Wow.
Several years ago, you know, there was, he had, I know for a fact he had a client, and it was 3.5. And he said, no, I'm gonna wait. And look what,
What happened? It's a wait, casi $2 million.
And they have the people that bought it have a long-term contract with the federal government. So they already have
They already have their rent.
they already have the
Their
renter, but
occupancy.
they have the payment guaranteed.
They
For 100 years.
So they'll have it paid in no time.
You should have sold it for more.
Don't ask for cookies, he'll sell them to you.
Traffic is right now, that street is
A true sales.
heavy traffic.
You know, once you
Yeah,
put
that's the
that,
only
then you
thing.
put so many more vehicles there because
Yeah.
of who's gonna be there.
So
And
you're very
everybody
congested.
brings their own vehicle. They should open I guess the back road or that's, I don't know what they're gonna do, but let me tell you, that's horrible right there.
Yeah,
Horrible.
No matter what time of the day.
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, traffic is really bad.
Yeah.
But do they do traffic studies and stuff, you know, when they?
Well, if you could turn on the street before by Texas Community Bank.
Yes.
and-
Yeah, but that one is gonna get like this because
Yeah.
you know,
All the
once,
residential.
once you reroute, everybody starts going, you know, to where they can find, you know.
A way out.
So I don't know what the fast answer is here.
Okay,
All
sorry.
right, okay,
No apologies necessary.
all right.
Beginning with our January activity reports, we begin with the director, with Eileen. Your report, Eileen.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm delighted to announce that we have a new flight to Mexico City. And we've been working with the airport in planning the promotion, in planning everything that we're gonna do, the activities that we're gonna do to announce a flight in Mexico City as well as here. And we've requested some tickets and different things to be able to promote them with our visitors. And so that opens our promotion in Mexico not only to Monterrey, Coahuila, but also to Mexico City now. And so we did put in our plans since last year. We knew this was coming, so we did prepare in a way, and now we're excited that this is finally here. The flight doesn't have a specific date of opening yet, but we know that it's gonna be either the end of April or the beginning of.
So how many flights are we having a week?
So we have, it's a little bit tricky, but it's 3 flights a week, but then it's Wednesday, then it comes back on Friday, then it leaves on Saturday, then comes back on Sunday, then leaves on Monday. So we have 3 flights a week basically, but it's designed so we're
One way, you know. back.
Exactly, back.
One way to.
It's designed so that people that are doing business can go and spend a couple of days there and then come back. And then it's designed also for people that want to go on leisure travel, that you can go on a Saturday, spend the weekend, and then come back on a Sunday night.
Will it be affordable?
Yes, compared to, so it has more or less the same fares as the one in McAllen, the one in the Valley. Now, they explained to us that just the taxes, having a flight here in Laredo, just an international flight, just the taxes, is like half of the ticket. And so what they're doing, and they explained also what we know, which is the earlier you buy a flight, the cheaper it is, the closer you buy it to the date, the more expensive it is. But they announced that they were gonna have a special rate of approximately 300 round trip for the opening, and obviously as it gets closer, the higher it goes. It's just, but it's gonna be around.
So if you buy round trip, is better than to just do the one way? I mean, unless you're gonna go stay over there.
Well, one way would be, they announced it as one way, which is 159, but most people will do round trip, so it's a little bit over 300, taxes included.
But
So
it's not bad.
it's comparable to what you buy in Nuevo Laredo.
Yeah, I don't, I think that's for that far away. I mean, Mexico City's a long way.
It's comparable to Nuevo Laredo, and it's comparable
Mexico City
to,
and El Paso are the same
Distance
distance.
from
Distance.
Can you
Laredo.
believe that?
and it's comparable to, so San Antonio, you might find something at $250, but you have to travel 2 hours, and you have to pay for parking, and you have to pay for
Yeah.
other stuff.
You know, people
Yes.
don't always factor in those costs.
Exactly,
They say,
so-
I'm gonna go.
If you pay,
I have flown those flights from San Antonio. And they're
Are they direct?
very nice.
Are they direct?
it's
From San
interjet.
Antonio, yes. Interjet.
So, some of the advantages that Ironman has is they have their own, so when you fly with Interjet or with Aeromexico to Mexico City, the traffic, the airplane traffic that they have over there is so big that you have to wait on the tarmac for sometimes 45 to an hour. And so that adds, a lot of people are like, well, no, but immigration, all that, you spend that time on the plane. Like, I can say, for experience, I spent 45 minutes on the plane in Mexico the last time that I went in December. And it happens every time I go. And so the advantage with Aeromar is it takes a little bit longer because of the type of plane, but you get to their own hangar.
What do you mean, the type of plane?
It's a propeller.
smaller
It's a smaller plane. But, no, but they're really nice. We it's not, they're like the newest generation of, so you don't, it's not like the ones from American Airlines that are like, the propeller ones from American Airlines, no, these don't go like this, yeah. So it takes a little bit longer, but you get to their, hangar, they have, the, how do you call it, the VIP lounge, so you can have, your drinks and snacks and everything when you're waiting
So
for
it's
the
like a
plane.
private plane.
It's
Pretty
almost
much.
like,
Mhm.
so, and they're really comfortable. Mayor, Robert and I went in, which, they're really tall, and for a woman, I'm tall, and I had heels, and we were all able to stand inside the, no, because I can't stand it, like, for example, in the American airline, the American Eagle, I have to go like this. So.
Lucky you, lucky you.
I'm very comfortable.
So the fact that we were all able to stand and sit comfortably, I mean, that meant a lot for us. So they're very comfortable, the service is really good, the safety is
So
amazing, they
so-
haven't had an accident in the 35 years that they've been running. So there's a lot of factors that make it a
So
really good
do they land
place.
at the main airport or they have
Yeah,
their own?
no, they land at the main airport. It's a bigger plane. It's a 64 to 72 passengers. Really nice planes, and so it's going to be a good service. And we hope that people in Laredo also embrace that and realize that if they
I wish
pay.
I would have had it when I was on that committee with the Mexican government.
And it's just, I mean, if you want to pay maybe $250 going from San Antonio and pay $300 to fly from Laredo, I mean,
The $50 or?
the $50 are just the gas and
factor.
it's not even the parking that you pay over there, because you pay $11 a day.
Hassle, just,
Exactly.
you don't come home.
Yeah.
And the connections that you have in Mexico
You're
City.
tired and you land and
You have
then.
to drive to
No, you
You
have to
drive
drive.
another 3 hours.
And if you get in late, you wanna stay at the hotel,
Otro.
Otros, yeah, allá se te van, yeah.
another $100.
And so the connectivity that you have now with Mexico City, I mean, that connects us to the rest of the country, I mean,
Oh, yeah.
South America.
Once you get to Mexico City, I mean, you can go to San Miguel, yeah. That's
It
what we're looking at.
is.
Yeah.
Querétaro is just a couple hours. And there's a bus station inside the airport in Mexico City.
No, really?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And
I've taken it.
Yeah.
I did too, we
Oh,
went to
yes,
Puebla
Uh-huh.
from
So
Mexico
you don't
City.
have to leave the airport, you just go, it's connected
Yes,
to the
I
airport.
remember that.
Yeah.
They took our picture in the bus,
Yes.
Mhm.
just to be sure and say people arrived.
Uh-huh. It's
Oh, wow.
security reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they only do it at the airport.
Yeah,
They take a picture of it.
yeah. Or they do videos, some do videos.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's first
But you know,
safety.
you travel in Mexico, you could get lost and nobody would even know
Yeah.
where. I mean,
Travis, I know you're missing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So that's the thing that I wanted
That's great.
to talk about. I don't know if you have any questions.
Is there anything else that has happened, I mean, that you wanna talk about, or?
We're planning, we're helping plan for different events. Right now we have, Sister Cities is our next event, and so we're
Here we go, this is.
committed to that. Between Washington and Sister Cities, those are the two things. Birding Festival is this week, and
Yes.
so.
It is?
It's this week.
Started
It just
yesterday.
It started
Just started
yesterday.
No, well, they had the
The opening reception. Yes, that was yesterday. And so, this year they have more people than they've ever had, with 166 birders.
Wow.
Their trips are sold
they all
out.
sold out.
They're all sold out.
So they have
a
an
waiting list.
itinerary, do you have an itinerary or their?
Oh, it's on their website.
And they have all the trips scheduled, what the ranches that they're going to, the parks, and, you know, I wanna say they've been sold out probably like 2 weeks before, like.
Yes, they actually have waiting list, and so
I kinda wish I was a birder,
they have,
but I don't have a birder.
they have some to borrow, some.
Binoculars, they'll get you in. They're always looking for new members here in Laredo.
Yeah.
You go to one of their meetings and you might end up being a bird.
Yeah.
I know my daughter-in-law went to the opening to the exhibit, art exhibit. She's an art teacher at Perales. And her students enter she always brings 2 or 3, you know, entries, art entries.
So yeah, it's a very popular event, and
The weather was wonderful.
yeah, this weather
This
is
was
amazing
perfect
for
for
them.
birding.
This is perfect.
Oh, yeah.
Although if it's a
I mean,
little
I
bit
have
too
birds
cold,
in my house that
yeah,
just.
this is perfect. If it goes a little bit cooler, then they don't like to go out.
No, I don't.
But somebody was asking on
Today was in the 30s, my dear, it was in the
Yes.
30s.
Yeah, today was
Yeah, it was a little bit
not
too cool. But yesterday was perfect.
Yeah.
I don't know. Somebody was asking me like, why does it have to be in the morning? I was like, well,
That's the
that's
best.
where the
when
birds
the
go
birds
out,
come
and they're like,
out.
what do they do after? I was like, I get bird herbs.
They go
I don't
watching
know.
over.
Watch the birds.
They go watching people watch. They do people watch, yeah. They do people watch.
The people watching.
Look, there they go, look, there go birds.
So yeah, you're gonna see if you get around La Posada, you're
Oh
gonna
my
see a lot
God,
of.
yeah.
Oh, yes, they're all
Computer.
there.
Yeah.
But it's gonna be nice. This was only the really cold morning, I think.
Hopefully you'll go. If it's in the 40s, that's
Yeah.
prime birding weather.
Yeah.
Very good.
Oh,
And it's
nice.
not windy.
Yeah.
Birds don't like.
So much, yeah.
That's very nice. Thank you. Lynn.
Eileen, thank you so much. Moving on to the Assistant Director's report.
Thank-
Go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Chair. My report's on page 8. 2 of the things that I wanted to highlight really quick was we were at Nora, Dennis, and Fabiola from the Max. We were there at the McAllen for the Winter Texan Expo, so we had a lot of people that were very interested for promoting the birding festival, the Washington's birthday celebration, and golf, basically. I know we were next to La Posada was there too as well, so this is the first time. So they kind of put us together, so we were like 3 booths together. We were in a prime location, so it was really good. All the stuff that we took, we ran out like half of the day, like it's crazy. So we had to time ourselves, divide the stuff per day. But it was really good, very well attended. So just promoting, shopping, the golf course, and obviously the birding festival and the Washington's birthday celebration. So that was really, really, really well attended and very well received by all the people there.
What is the Winter Texan Expo equivalent to here?
This one, it's kind of like our sister cities, but this one, it's all different destinations from Texas, even some from Oklahoma. Oklahoma has a big aisle. It's kind of like an island. They have like 20 booths, and they're promoting basically all their state. So the state of Oklahoma comes in, and they have different CBBs. So then the Winter Texans, they're here from October all the way to April, and in South Texas. So they're looking for places where to go. So all the different
After they
cities.
leave?
No, in between during that time
Oklahoma
period.
might be after they do.
After they leave, but
Well,
And they're
I'm
way
gonna
out.
say,
yeah.
Yeah.
from McAllen all the way to.
So
Yeah.
like South Valley is really involved, the Valley, obviously the Valley is there too. But San Antonio, like us, Laredo, Amarillo, there's Lubbock, there's other cities that come in.
Amarillo.
And yeah, all the way from Amarillo they come in, and they set up a booth and they set up a booth and we're basically just promoting the destination, saying, hey, we're 2 hours, in our case, we're 2 hours away, this is what you can do. And a lot of people, they do the casino, kickapoo, so they spend the night here. So, yeah,
Nice.
so we
They
promote,
play golf.
yeah, so
Shop.
we do the shopping, the golf, the outlet, so The import stores, we tell them, hey, you know, you don't have to go to Mexico. So we tell them, if you guys are going to San Antonio, we're by San Antonio, you know, so we're in between the valley and San Antonio. So that's what we're promoting, and we give them the bags, so they love our bags, and they always tell us, man, your bags are always the best. They always stand out, so we give them the super bright color, and with Laredo there. And,
So everywhere they go.
yeah, and they tell us, man, you guys are very smart, because we will go use it. Yeah, that's the whole purpose, you know. We spend a little bit more, but we know that you guys are gonna use it, and they're gonna promote it.
Sure.
So that's
good.
yeah. So it was overall, all the people were really excited. We got a lot of entries because we give a little giveaway. So it was really good. The people already know us. They're always looking for us. This year we kind of changed our bag because it was a backpack, and this one was a tote bag. So they're like, wow, you. And some of them came with a backpack. It was crazy.
You didn't have
They
any
came in with their backpacks. I'm like,
Filled.
and I was like, oh my god.
Did you have any leftovers?
Yeah, we did a special buy for them, and
That's nice.
it was crazy how some of them came with their bags. I was like, oh my god, like I wouldn't think they were gonna
People
keep
like
them.
bags.
Right, yeah.
But yeah,
They
bags.
like
Yeah.
They
Yeah,
use
yeah.
them.
Yeah.
They use them a lot.
They're practical.
And I tell them, put
They're
your
practical.
medication, put your purse, put everything there, your books, whatever you want to.
Yeah.
But you know, you want to go bird watching, whatever, you put everything there, carry it. Oh my god, you guys are very smart, and so we did all that.
Yeah, they so.
They said it's in the Laredo backpack?
Yeah, we're doing crazy, yeah.
What-
So we put the visitor guide, the bygor, the birding rat cards, we put everything there. So
That's a good market for birding,
Birding,
for the golf
Of
of
course,
course, yeah.
for shopping,
Yeah.
and so
And then this gets a lot of people come in for
Yeah.
golfing.
Yeah.
the
because-
Mexicans done it, yeah.
Yeah, so it was really good. So that was one. The other thing that I wanted to highlight was that I met with Gilbert Mancha. He's director for the District 22nd for the USA softball tournament. So where we're looking into bringing some tournaments throughout the summer, all the way probably to October. He actually was going to their state meeting, and we helped him out to bid for some of the tournaments. So we're hoping that once he comes back, hopefully we'll get several tournaments we'll be able to host between men's and women's, and then on the older levels, and then the young levels as well, like high
Where
school.
will they play?
They would use probably Freddie Benavides for the older, like the men's and women's, and the one at the base. That would be another option, because we've used that for the Pony World Series of Fast Pitch. So
That's a nice feel.
yeah, those are the
Nice
two
field.
fields that we'll probably be using. So we're already talking to J.J. Gomez, the director for Parks. So getting together and looking on what dates will work best for the parks that they're available. So we're really excited because we haven't had any tournaments with USA softball. So now that
That's great.
so we're really excited for that. So we're hoping that we at least get at least 3 this year, 2 to 3
Are you
tournaments.
still working with the Pony League to get those?
Yeah, we're still working with Richard Rosas as well.
And Pony League, we're gonna have the big softball tournament again, 2021.
2021. So we're
So-
hoping that
Like you did was it last year?
It was 2
Before?
years
2 years ago.
So last year and this year, we're having what we call the smaller one,
Yeah,
but it's still, how
Pretty
many
big.
teams?
but it's like 40 teams.
Yeah.
Oh.
But this one is over 100. like
But yeah, the big one
130.
is over 100, so we're gonna have it for 2021.
Yeah. And we're hoping that the new sports companies, hopefully it's available. that would be-
That's
That's
the
the
That would
idea.
be ideal.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, there's it's, I mean, they've been doing well in expanding the parks and taking
Mhm.
care of them.
Yeah.
To be able to accommodate this kind of activity,
Mhm.
which we were not able to do that before.
Yeah, now with the sports complex,
Yeah.
that's gonna help a lot.
And all the coaches, because even for Border Olympics, one of the unique things about Laredo, even though that we have some fields scattered, like for Border Olympics baseball, they don't mind driving because the quality of the fields and the staff that we have. They go to McAllen, they go to San Antonio, they go to Austin, and it's like, oh my God, the fields
No,
are
it's a
We've been
ugly.
to
Yes.
Yeah, so they don't mind driving, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, because the
It's no
quality of the
big
fields.
deal.
Yeah.
And then you get there, because my grandson, Vanessa's son, played baseball,
Mhm.
for years. And there was a traveling team and, I mean, you get to Austin, it was like, oh my
Where
God,
is
it's
it?
horrible.
I
Yeah.
know.
I mean, it
Oh, yeah,
was,
Yeah, pathetic.
And then for them, it's playing at the Unitrade Stadium. Oh my God, it's like they're playing at the Rangers or the Astros.
Playing
Yeah.
at the championship.
Crazy, yeah.
it's a
So
party,
we-
and the
we
seating
built-
and the, you know.
Yeah.
the
So the
shade
whole
and-
experience of being, now that it's all turf, it's like, wow, like the kids just go crazy. That we want to play. So we put a game for every team to play there in the championship.
That's right.
So that's the great thing that Parks
That's
is
good
doing.
that you do that, because I mean, they get,
Yeah.
everybody gets a chance.
Yeah. So those were the two things. Madam Chair, if you guys have any questions?
I guess we all have them.
Thank you,
You're welcome.
Joel.
Thank you.
Moving on to the CBB Services Coordinator, Veronica Alvarez report on page 9.
Yes, good morning. Yes, my report's on page 9. And well, I've been working on sister cities, as Eileen mentioned. We've been doing everything that has to do with the logistics of it, meeting with Hispanic International for the layout of the event and exhibitors. Also, we've done RFPs to the rental of the tables and chairs, pipe and drape, decorations, etc. Also, I send out our sponsorship packages. You know, hopefully we get as every year. We do only have a specific amount, which is 8 sponsors that need a booth space, but I mean, there's different levels, so we're hoping to get the 8 spaces to alleviate some of the costs. I've did a tour for the Texas Jewish Historical Society. They were here this past month, and they loved it. We went around. I studied a little bit of the Jewish history. It's very in the 1920s. That's when the wave came in, so it was very interesting.
Okay.
And I've learned a lot while I did the tour. So it was amazing to have them. They had a lot of fun. So they enjoyed being back in Laredo and learning their history and their families, where they used to have their businesses, etc. So I don't know if you have any other questions.
I would just, thank you for the involvement in the promotional outreach for the Webb County Heritage Foundation, and we celebrated our 180th anniversary of the Republic of the Rio Grande. It was such a nice event.
It was
Very nice.
beautiful.
Wasn't it,
was a
though?
really
Yes.
nice event.
And it was a nice evening. and
Yes.
Everybody just
Yes.
had a great time. Thank you.
And we'll be reaching out to them shortly for the founders, because we, as part of the Civic Pride campaign, we really want to.
Yeah, well, the Founders Day is a very important anniversary for us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so we're gonna be reaching out pretty soon to see how we can support that
That's good.
that celebration.
This year's gonna be,
And it happened that our tour was the day of the 180th.
I was out of town, but I heard really nice things about that.
oh my God, it was,
It was really nice.
it was nice, very nice.
Very
I
well.
think our exhibit there at the Museum of the Republic is,
Mhm.
it's turning out, it's gonna turn out really, really nice
Yeah.
also.
Mhm.
So,
So,
Madam Chair, I had an appointment at 9:45 for the dentist. I thought the meeting would be over by now, but I'm gonna have to leave real quick. But there's nothing to vote on, right? So,
No, I mean, we don't have any more.
I don't think we have a lot more.
So we just have a few more, couple of more requests.
okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Veronica, thank you. Moving on to the marketing manager's report, so we have Yarian, which is on page 10.
Yes, good morning. I'll keep this really short. You've got my meetings, my activities, the deadlines that I met this month. And more than anything, we all know that WBCA has already kicked off along with the Burning Festival. So we are focusing on and make sure that they get their in-kind promotion on behalf of CBB. So I've been working with Gabby and Nino over at the WBCA offices, and they've submitted artwork for placements on our digital billboards, on our electronic websites, on e-newsletters with tourtexas.com and Texas Monthly. The same thing with, I want to say it's Manuel over at the Rio Grande RGA with Risk. And, to make sure that he gave me information on the Burning Festival to put out. And, aside from that, if you have any questions over my activity, but you know, we do have a good partnership with WVCA. They gave us some in-kind tickets that Ana Reina is going to be using those to go ahead and do giveaways on our social media platforms. And once we get all that squared away, just to help them out and to try and bring more people into the city to go ahead and take part with the, I want to say they were air show tickets and the Jalapeno Festival tickets.
Air show, what, ready? Oh my God.
That's what we said. It's like,
Next week.
They're just going like this, right?
Yeah.
we're already thinking, for us, it's already March and it's already July, so.
This right here. And then they have
Gotta
another,
be way ahead.
Yeah, no, it's Sister Cities, the arena after it's State of the City, the arena was like, so what's next, Sister Cities? And we're like, oh,
yes,
yes.
it's a lot of work, right? Yeah.
Selena, thank you so much. Moving on to the next report, which is the digital marketing coordinator, Ana Reina, which is on page 13.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Good morning.
Good.
I traveled to Bernie for the Texas Association of Convention and Visitors Bureau, TCBB, to get more credits and learn about more my colleagues, my partners, one of the TCBBs, the other CBBs in Texas. I learned more about Bernie, the history.
Isn't it nice?
That's very nice. That's very, they have a lot of new
We have
things,
that
new
one.
restaurants.
Yeah.
They have new space for the CBB, so they have a lot of new things and anything. That's a small town, but they are growing too. So
They don't want to grow though. They don't want
Not
any
too much.
invaders.
not too much of that. So nice. Well, you can see the report for the social media. I work with Selena and the WBCA for this month. We have a lot of activities. I'm working with the Mexico Flies, so we try to do everything with the all the marketing, all the digital marketing, new and anything.
And they're hosting today, which is gonna be in the next report, but they're hosting El Blog del Gordo today at Taste of Laredo.
Yeah, that's part of the WBC activities for the new Disney. This year we have more influencers from US and from Mexico, so we can see we have more different things to do, social media, our website. We have new tools and everything.
Very good.
Thank you so much, Ana. Any other questions for Ana? No, we'll go ahead and move on to the Casa Laredo, the Monterrey office.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Casa Laredo this month, they've been working with the accounts like Sil Consultores, like Mesa Redonda Panamericana, and bringing more of those trips to Laredo. And they're also, we're trying to partner with the Monterrey CBB, so that when they bring, Monterrey is a big conference city. And so that's an opportunity for us to bring those conference attendees
People.
to shop and stay in Laredo for at least a couple of nights. And so Selena and Samuel are working together with Monterrey, the Monterrey CBB, in figuring out how to do that. What's the best way of doing that? And so that's a big project for them. And if we can capture at least a portion of those attendees and bring them to Laredo, that will be a great opportunity for us.
Do they take them to other markets like in McAllen?
They don't, and so we want to offer that as an opportunity for them.
Oh, that would be great.
And there's some other border cities that do something similar, like Juarez. Selena is actually going to a conference in Chihuahua. It's a binational tourism conference. And so the idea is to see Chihuahua and El Paso have a very good relationship, and they work a lot together in bringing those conferences, bringing those groups, so we want to learn how they're doing it.
Yeah,
so we can replicate.
They're right there.
They're right
Just
there.
like us in Monterrey.
Yeah.
You know.
But we have other destinations in Chihuahua. They have other destinations in Chihuahua that bring them to El Paso. So we want to see how they do it, how they work, so that we can kind of replicate that with Monterrey. So we're trying to crack that.
Well, good. I mean, at least you keep trying to venture out and
Yes.
do other
I'm
things.
so glad when I see the Mexican bands that come to the Washington's parade. I know why, because, if you stop to talk to the kids, they come from nothing, and they're so excited to be here.
Yeah.
When I was in high school, we used to be the hosts for the kids. And we would take them all to Martin High School, to the cafeteria, and we would feed them. And they would be like, they'd never had that much food in one meal. It was just getting to know them, and knowing their story.
Yeah.
These little kids that come, and they're so excited to be here. We should appreciate that so much.
We have to have a sense, give us a sense of appreciation, because sometimes our children don't have that. I mean,
No.
I think one of the things is that, and maybe it's our fault, I don't know, but they take things for granted. They think, oh,
No, it is our fault. It is our fault because we try to make it better for them. But
It's true.
it was just, I'm so glad though that, every year I would volunteer because it was just amazing to be with these kids. And they performed their hearts out.
Yeah.
And they would wear their new band uniforms and,
And they had new underwear. They would tell me. Yes, they would tell me. It was like a big deal.
Wow.
Jeez. That's why every time I see them, I think, I wonder if anything's changed. Probably not.
No, probably not. Maybe a little.
So I'm glad they're here.
But we used to have more because remember we had the open border.
Yeah.
Habría una frontera. Isn't that,
That was so neat.
wasn't it so,
Wonderful.
I don't know, it was when people trusted countries, had
Yeah.
Yeah.
that agreement and it was, and you trusted that they were gonna go back. But now
Only
it's,
one guy in Washington I don't trust now.
well, here we're gonna have to do something about it.
So, just a quick question, not really about the report of Casa Laredo, but is it really hard for them or dangerous for them to come to Laredo, having that they're coming from Monterrey? Do they cross anything that's of danger, how with all of the chaos that's happening in Nuevo Laredo? Not to open a huge topic, but just...
We try to be vigilant. Right now, we're trying to update their vehicles because the vehicle that they have, the van, is no longer highway worthy. And so what we're doing is we're trying to
get
change
something
that.
better.
Yes, and the other one, someone's car is
Super tiny.
Essence Park.
Yeah.
So we're trying to get them a vehicle that serves that purpose. But what they actually come often to drop off letters for some of these tours.
Okay, so they come quite often then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they just go to Nuevo Laredo and then go back.
Go back.
They're probably gonna be here the end of February to drop off some stuff too.
I think it's also, just the regular travel precautions that anybody would take.
Exactly.
You want to
Travel
travel
during the day.
early, travel during the
We
day.
have a lot of
and
these people that
that's
are
something that we take
international
into
trade,
consideration.
transport, customer,
Yeah.
they
Or
have
agencies.
people traveling to Monterrey every day, they go and come, and they go.
Oh,
And we have media coming, we have our influencers are coming today. We
Yeah.
have our-
We don't see it as a high
once or twice a
Because
month.
we see one event.
And that's
It's
not
a big deal.
And it's not a good one either.
No, and it's not a good one.
And,
And they have a lot of people, that's their life.
Yeah.
and what happens, it's isolated, happens in
In
certain areas of the
sections.
city, but the highway is,
It's okay.
yeah. We saw a lot of, as I mentioned, our agency travels at least twice a month,
Yeah.
back and forth
Right,
to
right,
Laredo.
sorry.
So is it
Media.
every day?
Daily,
Yeah, every
Every
day. Big-
Media,
their
everything,
job.
so, yeah.
Our
Yeah.
influencers are traveling as we speak, so, yeah.
I was just
It's
curious. My mind.
Curious.
Well, they're only two people, so
Yeah.
they often need one person to run and they have some trouble, so
Yeah.
that's kind of.
They are, actually, we're bringing a group from Guadalupe, Nuevo León.
No worries.
They're coming to do one of our logistics tours. And so Selena was mentioning that just for that day, we might have to close the office because she's gonna be in Chihuahua in the conference and someone is gonna travel with a group here. So just for that day, we're gonna put a little sign that we'll be back tomorrow.
Out to lunch. Taking the leisure.
Okay, moving on to the discussion and announcements. Our next meeting is scheduled for March 5th. If everyone is
This year, our trip to Washington is a little bit later, it's on the 8th, so
You'll be
usually we
okay.
ask if we
You'll
can
be
move cancel the meeting for March, but not this year because we have, our trip to Washington is a little bit later, so.
So when is our meeting?
March.
March 5th, Thursday.
Will be on a Thursday. Any other announcements or comments that we need to bring up to our meeting?
Good job.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do we have a motion to adjourn our
So
meeting?
move.
Second.
Motion carried. Thank you all.
Thank you so much.
I have to go pick up my husband.